Hello everyone, my name is Caio. I'm a VFX artist and AR developer, and today I'm gonna talk a little bit about my AR journey. So I'm gonna share my screen here. Actually, I started as a VFX artist when I was 13 years old. I started playing with Adobe After Effects and Adobe Premiere. I really wanted to be like a YouTuber, and I started learning visual effects. So this is an example. And yeah, I also love Minecraft, and I made some videos about it. And then I went to 3D artwork, learning like 3D animation and 3D rendering. And in 2019, um, there's this guy here, Don Allen III. You guys probably know him because he's well known in the AR community. We used to follow each other like for a while, and then he posted a video like using his AR effect. And I at the time I didn't know you could create your own AR effect. So I sent a message to him and I was like, "Oh, how did you create it? I thought only Instagram could create AR effects." And we start chatting, and like he gave me some tips, and then I download Spark AR and I started like exploring and studying. And at that time, I think Spark Air Studio just came out of beta, and I didn't know like there wasn't many resources online, so I was like all by myself. And then I remember like I joined some groups. I remember the group on Facebook was like had a few people only, and then I met other AR creators, especially here from Brazil. And then we started like chatting and talking about and learning together. And yeah, so I created my first AR effect. It was this effect based on Harry Potter movies. So we had this car and the glasses. It was very basic, only using face tracking capabilities and like changing the background. So yeah, this was my first AR effect, created in 2019. And then I start creating like other effects and studying more. And this is like my full-time job now. I work full-time with AR. Actually, I work with visual effects too, but my clients are mainly like they ask for AR effects. So these are some of my effects. Um, yeah, you can see like that I have a personal style. I like creating cyberpunk stuff and like futuristic, but I also create other stuff. I'm not limited to it. So yeah, this is my most famous effect. I'm gonna talk a little bit about it, but you can see that I have all sort of effects here, like world tracking, face tracking, and like about effects that use scripts, programming, and yeah. So this effect here, like, it's nice because I created this effect with my friend Bianca Garucci. She's from Brazil as well, and we created actually for a competition for the Spark AR Cyberpunk competition. And no, actually, it was created before the competition. Sorry. Um, but yeah, like the effect, she did the makeup and I did the futuristic stuff, like this stuff here around the face and stuff like that. And a few months after, it got featured on the Spark AR course. So it's really nice to see like how this effect that we created got famous and like got recognized by Meta. So right now, if you go to the Spark AR course, it's like the cover for the course, and actually it got featured in some Meta ads as well. This was one of their ads, like talking about the course, and it's really nice to see how like famous it got. And also, I think this one is my most famous effect. It's called Offline, and basically it was created like I created a filter called online that it was like roughly the same but with the online saying like on the eyes, and I created for a client because he was releasing a song, that had its name. And then I thought, why not create like the alternative version? So I created this offline version and added like a color palette, and it really got famous here in Brazil because here we have this saying that when you're up to something, you say that you're online, and like you're not up to something, like you don't want to go out, you want to stay at home, you want to stay chill, you say that you're offline. So at that time, it got really famous because of that saying. And so these are just a few actors and like artists or like athletes that use the filter here in Brazil. Like they're really famous. We even got like the daughter of Lil Wayne using, so we got international as well. So yeah, that's basically my portfolio. And yeah, I also have many other filters, but I cannot show them all. But yeah, that's these are my facts, and this is my most famous one. Okay, so I'm gonna talk a little bit about this AR effect. As I told you guys, this is a Cyberpunk one. This was actually created for the Cyberpunk competition. And so I like this effect because it uses a lot of capabilities. First, it uses face tracking, of course, to track the face and put like this futuristic stuff around the head. But I also have a little bit of makeup here. And I also have some animations. So let me show you here how it works. So basically, I have first a LUT just to add like a little bit of color and give this, I don't know, this night look. I always add LUTs to my effects because I think they enhance the experience. And then I have all this stuff here that I'm gonna break down. Just 1 second. Oops. So in the competition, we had to use an asset from the library from the Cyberpunk game. So I started with it. I grabbed this item there in the library, and I didn't want to use like how it was. I wanted to change a little bit. So what I did here was actually change the material, and actually it was way bigger. Like it had glasses, it had this stuff on the forehead, and what I did was to put the material on add, because it was actually kind of like that. It had a texture as well, but I changed it a bit. And then I started, like this was the base stuff, and then I started adding other stuff to enhance the experience. So I added a little bit of retouch just to make the skin smoother. Then I created this thing for the eye. Looks like it has a bug now. But yeah, I wanted to give like this glow around the eye, like some cyborg stuff. And then I also add makeup because I think people, when they use AR effects, they want to look pretty. So I had to do something to make the person like feel pretty. So I add a little bit of freckles and like some nose highlights, like a makeup. Also some highlights on the cheek as well. And highlights on the eyebrow. Also, I had some eyelashes before, but I think I didn't use on the final version of the filter because it would be, I think, yeah, don't think it would look good with all the stuff around the head. And finally, I had this circle here that it's actually a bunch of other circles. And each of them have its own animation. So as you can see, there are different circles with animation. and they have like this position animation, so they go backwards and forwards. They have this scale animation, so they go like scale up and scale down, and they also rotate in different directions. And finally, I add this effect here, like this OTV effect, just to to give a little, I don't know, retro looking. So it's cyberpunk, but also retro. And yeah, that's basically the effect. You see my patch editor is like there's a lot of stuff going on here, but it's basically to control the animations of the circle and some makeup stuff. But and also, oh, I almost forgot, there's this thing here that I wanted to add a little bit of interaction. I always like to add interaction to my filters because I think it's what people seek when they use AR effects. They want to look pretty and they want to interact with it. So I added this stuff here that when you touch the screen, it changes the LUT. So it kind of inverts the image and gives this cyberpunk style, like with blue and pink. So yeah, that's basically the AR effect. Okay, so these are some of my effects. So yeah, actually, one thing that I like from my effects is that I got over 1.9 billion impressions, which is a lot. I never imagined that I would have these impressions. And yeah, my effects are still being used all around the world, which is a good thing. So these are some effects that I like the most. So this is my offline effect that I told you guys about it. It got really famous here, a lot of famous people using it. And I like because it has this, it's not actually cyberpunk style, but it has this futuristic vibe of the text. And it has also some nice colors, like some nice LUTs. I like this effect a lot. I created this effect based on a picture. Actually, the picture was based on a drawing, and I created the effect based on the picture. So what I liked about this effect is that it has the makeup that like makes people pretty, and it also has this glow, like this butterfly glow, like so volumetric light. And yeah, I really like this effect. This one, it was kind of a challenge for me, but I think it turned out pretty well. This effect I created for a famous YouTuber here in Brazil. And what I like about this effect, is that like this thing on the head that I don't really remember the name, sorry, but like when you turn your head, it also folds, so you can really interact with it. So let's see yeah, I don't know if he's gonna like turn his head, but when you turn your head, it has some bones and rigging on the 3D model, and like you can turn your head like the way you want, and it's gonna react accordingly. And it also has like this image behind, and this effect has a lot of like functionalities. There's the face tracking, it has 3D, it has like person segmentation, it has hair segmentation because I had to cut the hair from the person so like it wouldn't go beyond the cloth here. So this is the effect that got featured on the meta course. So yeah, also this futuristic style, some this cyberpunk vibe and like stuff on the face like glowing, and this circle animations. Another cyberpunk effect. So this I created, I think it was during the pandemic, and I was like, imagine how like people would wear masks in the future. So yeah, I created this concept of like a futuristic mask that that it displays stuff on the glass here, and it's better like for you to breathe. I don't know. So it's just a cyber helmet, cyber mask. So it has like this. It has the date. It has the hour. How's the weather. It was just a concept, and I really like this effect. But this one I created it for a famous YouTuber here in Brazil as well, like with the cyberpunk style. This is the one I showed you guys now. I really like this effect here. I created for sweat economy. So basically this effect, what it does is it also, like every time you walk towards a coin, it spawns another coin, and also there's things on the floor so you know where you need to go. And that makes the effect, like in theory, it's endless because like you can walk, and it also like every time it spawns a new coin, so you can all walk forever. And yeah, I think it's really interactive. And I have another filters here, like also with this futuristic vibe is what I like to do. But this one I created for client, like with the circuits and stuff like that. This one, I created this filter a long time ago. I created like for not for him, but inspired by him, but my favorite singer, I think, Post Malone. So yeah, basically I recreated his tattoos, but I should update because he has more tattoos now. Yeah, so I have all sort of effects here, futuristic stuff. And there are other effects that I created that are not here because I created for clients, but I think most of them are here. This one, I really like it because it also uses the same concept of the other one that I showed you guys. It spawns a new coin every time you walk, but it also spawns other objects from the Mario game, Super Mario game. And I also created a version for Snapchat that I'm gonna release like really soon. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about my project with AR glasses now. Okay, so in the beginning of the year, I had the opportunity to work with SnapSpectacles. Spectacles are basically AR glasses, and they let you use Snapchat lenses on like the glasses. So it's just like you're using your cell phone, but it's strapped to your head, to your eye, so you have both hands free. And it's different because you can like use both hands to interact with stuff. So it's really cool. And I created this AR effect for them. And I had 3 videos on their web page, like on their Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube. So yeah, I'm gonna show you a little bit of this project here. Okay, so the idea for this AR effect was I wanted to create an interaction, like an educational lens, and I wanted people to interact with it. So my idea was to have the 7 wonders of the world around this 3D Earth, and I wanted people to learn more about them, like where they're located and how they look like. So basically, I have this, people can use their hand to rotate the Earth. So when they do this pinch gesture and they move their hand, you can like rotate the Earth so you can look at a specific part of the planet. And then you can like, I added 2 ways of interacting with it. First, you can like touch on the Spectacles touchpad, so you can see the wonder of the world in full size, or you can touch with your hand, which I think it's really cool. So you can actually use your own hand to interact with this virtual world. So you see when I click, it goes full size, so I can visualize like how it looks like, where it's located. So yeah, I really like this project because it's like has a lot of functionalities. So basically I'm rotating the planet. And also what I like about it is that, as I said, you can touch with your hands, you can touch on the touchpad, and you can also use voice commands. So if I look at one of the wonders and I say words like "what is that" or something like that, it activates this function inside the scripting, and it makes the Earth disappear and makes the wonder of the world like go full size. So it has a lot of functionalities and capabilities. So yeah, and this project was really hard to create because first it has a lot of like features. So I had to spend a lot of time scripting and programming, and also I had to spend a lot of time creating the 3D models because I found some models online, but because we're talking about AR, I couldn't really use that models because they were high poly. So I had to work on the geometry and like reduce the mesh so they would fit in the project. And I also spent a lot of time working with textures. So I wanted to make it kind of realistic, and the models weren't that realistic. So I had to spend a lot of time working on textures and making like stuff pretty. And I think I really like the result. I think I did a great job. Oops. So yeah, that's basically it. So for the future, as I said, right now I'm working full time with AR. So I intend to keep working with AR, but I also want to try VR. Like I had the opportunity to try, but only a few times. And I think like everything in a few years, maybe I don't know, 5 years, everything is gonna have a little bit of AR. And I think people that are starting with AR right now are gonna be like the people of the future. I think we're ahead in many ways because yeah, I think AR is gonna grow a lot in a few years. So yeah, I want to keep studying AR and like creating other filters, other effects, and I also want to try a little bit of VR because I think both are the future of the world. So yeah, that's what I plan for the future.